Is March considered Irish month?
No.
Why?
Well, it is now.
It should
for
be.
us.
All right. Well, welcome to Irish Month. Here's another edition of AM Whiskey. I'm Mark. This is Aaron. Aaron, what do we got going on here to kick off Irish Month?
Well, seeing as March, the only holiday in March is St. Patrick's Day, and we don't think a day is enough, we decided that this month we're going to celebrate St. Patrick's Month with a bunch of Irish whiskey. Thanks to one of our fine subscribers and friends, we have a lot of different samples of Irish whiskey. They're broken up by age, so we're going to take a look at all the different age categories. And then I think we're going to try and see if any of the younger stuff can compete with the older stuff, come up with an ultimate winner for the best of the Irish for St. Patty's Month.
I love it. All right. So all these are 10 years. They're all ranging between 80 and 94 proof.
Okay.
There's all of them are, of course, bourbon cask, and then
Bourbon casks, huh?
and then almost all of them are finished in something else. Only one of them is only bourbon cask.
Okay. So
So
these
we've
are
got-
all going in. These
Yeah.
are all Irish whiskeys, 10 years old,
Yep.
going into a bourbon cask and then possibly something else.
Yep. I think that's the only one that's only bourbon cask.
All right, we're going left to right.
Yep, left to right.
All right, this is Egan's 10-year, 94 proof single malt Irish whiskey, finished in a bourbon cask. Let's see how it is. Well, it definitely smells like malt whiskey.
Yep.
Start this day off right.
It's not funky though.
No, it's very clean smelling.
Smells like an Irish whiskey. Not as fruity as many have had.
Okay.
This one comes through more as a single malt with a I'd call it a light pepper backer.
I can see that. Yeah, it's definitely a malt. I do get kind of a honey sweetness on the finish here towards the mid to back palate.
Yeah.
Definitely malty. Well, we do have 6 of these to get through, so we might as well keep it moving. Number 2, what do we got? Bushmills 10-year. This is 80 proof, single malt, finished in bourbon and sherry casks. So as some of you might know, I fancy myself as not a particularly huge fan of finished whiskeys. Also, not a particularly huge fan of straight malt whiskeys, although I'm trying to branch out. So, this should be fun.
You're fancy?
Well, I'm not fancy.
Not fancy. All right.
But I sometimes try to fancy myself.
Okay.
I mean,
I've heard that someplace.
sometimes you're the only one who will do it.
Yeah. I'd say, traditionally I like certain Irish. No doubt about it. I'm not a huge Irish person. I'm not a single malt person. But most Irish are single malt or single pot still.
This one seems more traditional to me.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm used to in the Irish whiskey. It's probably that sherry finish. There's a lot of sherry finishes in Irish and Scotch
I find
whiskeys.
this one's more balanced. The last one had that honey and spice spike to it. This one I find balanced.
It's pretty balanced, pretty sweet up front to me.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a little bit of that sherry influence.
There's not a line of wood, but there was almost like a line of wood attempting to poke through.
Yeah.
Oh, this
Alright.
is a good nose.
Which one's this?
Oh yeah.
Ooh, Green Spot. So this is interesting because this is non-age stated, but believed to be 7 to 10 years. So this could be the youngest of the crew.
Mhm.
80 proof, single pot still, bourbon and sherry cask. Wow. I guess I got to stop already.
Yeah, I
Break
was
something.
wondering at what bottle number. I should have put that on the screen. What bottle number does Aaron chuck a bottle? Drop a bottle?
What bottle do we lose control? This one does have a nice nose.
It does have a really good nose. Like this one, I'm getting like a pear.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. It's kind of like that fruit cup that you open up when you had at lunch. The little
with
pack
the
of
orange and the mandarins in it.
the pears, the light syrup there. Ooh, very sweet. This is the least malty of the ones that I've had so far.
The least malty, the fruitiest, and the just crazy easy.
Yeah, I think that's the leader in the clubhouse right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably also the most expensive.
Possibly, but it's significantly the leader. I've moved that one way up on the...
Yeah, that's definitely the best so far.
Yeah. All right, so here's number 4. We're moving right along. So this is going to be Keeper's Heart.
Let's see if I can not drop
10 year. Has an 86 proof single malt bourbon barrel, and oh, of course I get something like that.
Malaga wine cask?
Yep, there you go.
I don't even know what Malaga wine is.
I don't know, but it don't sound French to me.
That sounds Spanish, maybe?
That's what I would have guessed.
Portuguese?
Something.
Somewhere around there.
Yep.
Okay, this is getting more into the...
This is malty.
Traditional malt Irish, yeah.
A little darker.
Yeah, I can see that. I think you're getting more of that wine influence here. Ooh, at least on the nose. You got a ooh out of him.
It doesn't taste or drink the way I thought it was. I don't know if I like it or not, but this one is fairly complex. It's not my favorite notes, but there's like 3 or 4 different things there.
It does seem... I get the most wood on this one, I think. Mm-hmm. Most oak influence. There definitely is that kind of red fruit note there on the end. Still that...
it's pretty malty.
Yeah, I get that nice hit of malt right on the tip, and then it kind of branches out into that darker fruit like a plum. You know, probably that Malaga wine, whatever that is, influence there. And then it gets some oak, but the finish is, for a 90 proof, this has got a pretty decent finish to me.
It sure does. Yeah, actually that was one of the better finishes.
Number 5. The Tyrconnell 10 year. 92 proof, single malt, bourbon barrel in cherry cask.
This one looks like it had a bit more time in the finishing barrel to me. This one is by far the darkest.
This has the best color as a bourbon drinker to me. If I'm
got a bourbon nose.
Just looking at the whiskey in the glass, this one's the winner.
It's not brown sugar, but it's really similar. It's almost like
this is the least malty on the nose to me.
But it's a dark nose. It's a dark sweet nose.
It's still there. You still get that bit of maltiness.
Yeah, but it's real slight.
Yeah.
It's not cinnamon toast crunch.
I'm not getting any cinnamon here.
I'm not getting the cinnamon, but is it a hint of maple?
Maybe.
I can't put my finger on
There's
exactly.
something there. Yeah, there is definitely
it's
something
very
there.
distinct.
There is some of that bourbon influence.
It's not as prevalent now. Now when I roll it on the glass, I get
the nose on this seems to be the most complex to me, but maybe that's just because this is the most bourbon nose to me. But it's harder on this one to draw out the specific notes because everything seems to be there seems to be a lot mingled in there.
You're gonna like this one.
There is some fruit.
On the palate, there's fruit, there's a light spice, a little line of wood, I mean a real thin layer. And it goes for a pretty long time.
This is
pretty damn good.
Yeah, this is more of the... You can tell it's a single malt whiskey or a malt whiskey, but it's very, very subdued.
Very
you
light.
get a lot of those bourbon notes This would be a good one for a bourbon drinker to go to, not only by the color, the nose, the palate.
This is
all
the
are
most
gonna
bourbon-y.
lean more towards, the bourbon drinker. This one is going to be a come down to, I think, this and the green spot. That's going to be.
So far, we'll see. It's early. There's a lot of whiskey to be had.
Well, really, there's only one more.
You haven't drank everything in your glass yet?
Well, I mean,
That's kind of weird. I thought
I've-
you're usually a really fast whiskey drinker.
yeah, but this is
We've been rocking through these like faster.
this is malt whiskey.
This is the Whistler.
Whistler.
10-year, 92 proof, single malt, bourbon, and Oloroso.
Oloroso sherry. Okay.
Yeah, back to single malt. Not overly excited based on the nose.
We say that, and here we are doing a video on Irish whiskey. which
I
is
like,
almost
look, I
awesome.
like whiskey. I'm non-discriminatory, right? I'll drink any whiskey if you put it in front of me.
Ooh, see,
Some I like more than others. It's gotta like there's
this
the,
has got
the
some.
malt.
This has got kind of a butterscotchy note.
Yeah, a
To it.
little bit. After right behind that malt.
Well, I think the malt on this one is different. This is more like the
Mhm.
like a malted milk chocolate ball without the milk chocolate. Like if you took the chocolate off of a Whopper, I'm kind of getting that
Okay.
with a little bit of like if it had some like soaked in butterscotch. That's this one. This nose is interesting.
Maltiness really shines on the palate. At least for me, the malt's riding quite a ways.
See this one again. Like I'm getting that the maltiness on this.
There
to
is
me,
a butterscotch.
different than all the other ones.
Yes, it is.
Like this is just
It's not edgy.
right. This is more.
It's just
Smooth.
subdued, and
It's you can
it's
tell
there.
it's malt, but
Yeah.
it's a like I said, it's more of like the
inside that
malt
Whopper.
that you get in
Yeah.
in a Whopper or
It's a candied malt.
right, like we're used to in like if I'm gonna get a a malted milkshake or something, this is kind of what I'm gonna get in there. Yeah, I think we're going.
I want to check my back just a little bit, but I'm pretty sure.
Well, this is number one is
Yeah.
definitely my last place.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah.
I mean these three are fighting for the top spot, and these three are definitely towards the bottom.
I'm trying to figure out if there's a line. There's a I don't really care to drink again. I'll drink again line.
Yeah. Um.
Right.
None of these would I say absolutely not gonna drink again, but all three of these, specifically the Egan's or however you pronounce it, that just
So there's two that I can pass on. Look, I can drink it if someone pours it for me and I'm at a friend's house. There's two that I would prefer not to drink. Third to last is right at the line, and then the front three I'll drink just about any time. So what did you put in your first place? Or do you feel the same way?
well, I still want to go back to these three to
Oh,
kind
you
of
gotta
figure
go
it out.
back. All right.
This is
That gives me drinking time.
the glass number one is definitely in my last place.
I agree.
And then
First
I think
out
it's
is-
followed by number two.
Agreed. So that's the Egan's is in last.
Egan's is in last.
Bushmill 10-year is in second to last.
And then the Keeper's Heart, I think, is my next one out.
that is my next one out as well.
All right,
Yep.
so we're aligned
On
in
the
that.
last three. And then that's going to leave
So
C, E, and F.
right now, when I first said it, my leader in the clubhouse was the Green Spot 10-year, but then we got to the
Mm-hmm.
Tier Connell, or however you say it, make fun of us for our
The
pronunciation
Tricano?
of these.
I'll call it just Tricano.
Um,
You're probably closer.
well,
to
it
me.
depends.
Yep,
The
that
Y or the TYR. So I'm gonna go Tyrconnell.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a river somewhere. Anyways, that one was pretty darn tasty. So I'm gonna have to go back to these. And then the Whistler, I think, is gonna end up in my third place, but I'm going to try them again. Green Spot's just got a lot going on the nose, but it's the fruitiest. I think
it's by far the fruitiest.
I get that fruit cocktail kind of.
Yep, it's by
in syrup.
Yeah, to me the Green Spot is the fruitiest, and as I know, Irish whiskey, it's the most traditional Irish whiskey that I tend to like to drink.
It's pretty tasty.
Oh, I like it. This is a pretty decent nose.
Which one? Oh, you're on the Whistler?
I'm on the Whistler.
See, I'm on the Tyrconnell because it's, again, I think this is the one that I think most bourbon drinkers would gravitate towards. Just, I mean, you look at it, the color-wise, it's going to lean more towards bourbon.
Yep.
The nose, again, still has that a little bit of bourbon, but you get that kind of single malty hit right off the get-go.
Yeah. I'm generally speaking not a huge single malt hit fan. It's not.
It is kind of subdued,
like.
Though. Then it goes into those kind of traditional bourbon kind of notes with the caramel.
Correct. Well, wait till you try the Whistler, because that's what's causing me to split the Whistler from the Tyrconnell or Triconnell or however you say it.
See, I like this butterscotchy kind of note.
I like the nose on it. It's something in the palate that's causing me to rate it the way that I'm rating it. You're struggling between the two.
Yeah, I actually think I'm going to go Whistler above. So that would be my rank order.
Yep, and I'm flipped with you. So we both agree, I assume, you're putting Green Spot first.
Green Spot's first, yeah.
Green Spot's first. And then me and you, I think, are flipped on the last two. I'm putting the Triconnell or Tyrconnell second with the Whistler third.
Yeah, and I mean, I can see that. This is going to lean more towards the standard bourbon drinker, but I still get that traditional malt hit right in the beginning. Mm-hmm. The malt on this one is just so different than everything else that I've had. Mm-hmm. That's why I put this one first, because this one just does it differently. And while I would probably still reach for a bourbon before that, I like the just kind of mellowness, tamed down, malted milk ball kind of flavor on this one. Mm-hmm.
These three I could drink anytime.
Yeah.
My favorite's the Green Spot.
Well, and I think the Green Spot leans
one
more
I like
towards
second.
your traditional Irish.
It totally is.
This is your traditional Irish flavor.
Really done well.
Done well. And then this one's just the most unique to me as far as malted whiskeys. And then this one, because of the bourbon influence, I think that's what puts it above this. But I still get that kind of just sharp maltiness on this one, which is why it finished third for me.
Excellent.
So this was our 10-year Irish battle to kick off our St. Paddy's Day month Battle of the Irish.
Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. Don't forget to leave a comment. And I hope you enjoy this great month. Keep the whiskey flowing.
Have a great day.